Vietnam War Projects by Grace Kelly
and Nikki.
Operation Baby Lift was the evacuation plan to get all of the orphans out of Saigon before North Vietnam invaded Saigon. If the kids didn't get out of Saigon, the North Vietnamese soldiers would kill the kids because they were Amerasian and they didn't like Amerasians, or they would make the kids work for them or become soldiers at very young ages. A lot of the kids that got adopted and were part of Operation Baby Lift went back to Saigon to look for their parents, but most of them didn't find it because their parents died, but some of them did. The C-5A Galaxy was the first plane in Operation Baby Lift. It was carrying 300 orphans from Saigon to America. Sadly, it crashed 15 minutes outside of the airport. 133 kids, 33 adults, and 11 crew members died in the crash. After the first plane crashed, a lot of people were scared to even try the second plane or any other planes in Operation Baby Lift. But they decided that it was better to just try to get all the kids out, even if devastation did occur, than to not try at all. The 747 chartered Pan Am plane was the biggest plane in Operation Baby Lift. It was carrying 409 orphans and crew members. For all the children that boarded the plane, they had to have birth certificates and signed papers from the orphanage centers. It was a very difficult process to get all the children on the plane safely and in an orderly fashion. But after an 18-hour flight, everyone landed safely to America, Canada, Europe, and Australia. Once the children arrived to their new countries, all of them went with adoptive families. These families were assigned to children before they even left Saigon. It was a very difficult, slow process to find a family for every child in the orphanages in Saigon. Operation Baby Lift, they need to get home. They need to find a way to get out of Saigon. There's only one way out, and it's by plane. They better leave soon or else they'll go insane. Parents leave their babies as their babies start to cry, but the hardest thing in a parent's life is to have to say goodbye. Babies need to leave because trouble's coming soon. People start to worry if they'll all be doomed. Operation Baby Lift is so important, saving tons of lives that would otherwise be discarded.
Nurses in Vietnam by Nikki. During the Vietnam War, nurses got ranked and promoted based on how hard they worked. But during the Vietnam War, Congress decided to pass a law saying that the nurses could not get promoted anymore, or ranked. This happened because the Army men thought that it was unfair for women to get ranked and promoted just as men would. One of the many conditions that the nurses had to deal with during the Vietnam War were airlift helicopters. This was difficult because the nurses weren't able to carry all the supplies that they needed to help the wounded fully on the helicopter. They weren't able to do this because otherwise it would have gotten in the way of all the other equipment that the pilots needed to. One of the many reasons why nurses joined the Vietnam War was because they wanted to help the wounded and be generous. And they also wanted to serve their country because they thought it was their duty. Another reason was just because some people just wanted to have an adventure and to also excel in the military career.